Patrik Allvin spoke out on the Lindholm trade and the real reason why they made it. I'll get into this later on in this episode. Before I start, to everyone watching this, make sure to go down and hit that subscribe button. We're going to be here all season long giving you updates from all around the Canucks, from rumors, trades, prospects, game recaps, anything you can think of. But with that, let's hop straight into the first topic today, which is Allvin speaks out on the Lindholm trade. Now, if you've been following social media at all or looking at any of the press conference, Allvin did speak out. He said, "I feel our top six needed to improve a little bit with a caliber player like Elias to find more consistency going down the stretch. It's coming down to tough matchups, and that's where you need your four line to be strong in the two-way game." Now, first off, this does sound like a tiny bit of shot at Kuzmenko, as he was never the best two-way player. Yes, last season he was outstanding. He really could not find his way into this lineup, and honestly, I think Lindholm is the perfect fit for the Canucks. Now, when you do look at the Canucks top six, right now Daily Faceoff does have him slotted into the top line in center position, but I really feel like they're going to get the 649, the Lotto line, back intact, and this is where I could see Lindholm sliding into the second line with a guy like Connor Garland, Mikheyev, whoever may be. I think this is exactly what Allvin wanted when he looked at this trade. As he said in this, they wanted more two-way coming from it. They wanted more consistency. They wanted tougher matchups for their opponents, and that's exactly what Elias Lindholm brings. Now, he did continue on with another quote saying, "We as a team got better. We play with more structure in our system, and it's way more demanding." The implications was obvious that with Tocchet's critiques over Kuzmenko's game over the last 2 months, the Canucks needed a player who was working consistently, and Kuzmenko just wasn't the one of those guys. "I truly believe in Andre because of his skill set, and he's a great person and a great character, and I wish him all the best. I believe that he's capable of continuing scoring goals and making plays in the National Hockey League." So he does give a lot of credit to a guy like Kuzmenko, who just came into the Canucks last season, broke a couple of records, and looked outstanding for the Canucks. As I said, Tocchet's just kind of got him out of his lineup, and he isn't fitting the system that he wants. Obviously, there's been scratches from all over the place. The inconsistency with offense, defense, there wasn't really anything that he could bring to this lineup that was consistently keeping him in. So bringing in a guy like Elias Lindholm, who's not only a great centerman, he is struggling a bit offensively this year, but this is coming from a Flames team that overall is having a bit of a down year defensively, offensively, everything in between. They really can't find their footing. But the Canucks bring in a two-way star and a guy like Elias Lindholm that can fill out their top six, fill out the penalty kill, power play. He does everything. As I've said before, this guy is really a Swiss Army knife when it comes to your hockey team. And this really leads into the real reason why they made this trade. Now, when you do look at Lindholm's stats, Lindholm, like I said, 32 points in his 49 games. -8, negative and plus minuses is not the greatest thing to look at, especially when you're on a team that is struggling and not performing to expectations. But when you do look at this guy just from this season, he has played the power play, as you can see, as 3 power play goals. He's great on the draws with 55.5% chance. He throws a tiny bit of hits, blocks, takes the puck away, and he was a former Selke candidate. As you can see here, he had Selke votes just last season, the year before, back in 2019 on Calgary as well, and he also had it in 2018-19. So the big thing with this, like I said, you're bringing in a guy that's going to be defensive responsibility. He's going to win you draws. He can play everywhere within your lineup, and he really brings more to the table than a guy like Kuzmenko does, especially when you start getting deeper into the season. Games are getting grindier. Teams are really looking for those wins to win the President's Trophy, to win the top in their team, to get home ice advantage. And the Canucks are in the lead for this, so why not add more? Now, when you do look at the Canucks, I was just kind of talking about the faceoffs. So when you do look at the faceoffs, you have a guy like JT Miller, who's 54.5%, Tenny Beluga, who's 51. Then you get a real steep drop-off of no one really over that 50%. And the big thing is JT Miller is the only guy with over 300 faceoff wins. Now, when you do go back and look at a guy like Lindholm, right now, 55.5% from the draw, and he also has 547. So he really adds in the caliber of getting more face-off wins, be able to win you more draws, play the penalty kill, win draws off this, and it kind of gives a break to a guy like JT Miller where he doesn't have to be the only guy that is consistently winning. Like I said, 55.5% has him at the top of the Canucks. He has as many faceoffs as JT Miller, and I think this is the biggest thing that a lot of people aren't looking at. This is one of the most reliable centers they've had in quite some time. I know you can look at a guy like Ryan Kessler from years ago, and this is the kind of style of player you're bringing in, a guy that's defensive responsibility. He's great on the draw, as I said, penalty kill, power play, he can do everything. Now, when you do look at the Canucks, and I've kind of hinted towards with the penalty kill, right now they are ranked 16th in PK percentage, which is not bad. It's not bottom of the league. It's not one of the worst, but it is just around average. So they're just killing off about 80% of the penalties. They are tied with Buffalo and just a tiny bit below Vegas with 0.6. But bringing in a guy like Lindholm that has played a lot of penalty kill, he's done this for Carolina, he's done this for Calgary. This guy is going to slide into this lineup and really just inject himself into this penalty kill. As I said, right now with them just being ranked at 80%, this could honestly take a big jump. And with the Canucks being one of the top teams, I mean the top team in the league, bringing in a guy like Lindholm is just going to help get this penalty kill up, and it's going to help them get more wins. They're going to give up less on the penalty kill. They can win more draws on the penalty kill. They can kind of take a bit of strain off a couple guys that are currently on the penalty kill. And like I've said before, he is a Swiss Army knife, and he brings so much more to this team than a lot of people know. So what's your thoughts? Do you think Allvin really just kind of dropped the ball on this trade? Do you think he gave too much up? Do you think they should have maybe went out and got Sean Monahan, where he was just traded for a first and a third? Or do you think this is the perfect player? Shipping out a guy like Kuzmenko should be able to get more consistency, more defense, and you think this is the perfect win for the Canucks? Anyways, that's it for this episode of Canucks Digest. If you have any questions, you can put them down in the comments. If you guys, like I said, what's your thoughts on this? Do you think this is a perfect trade, a terrible trade, or, just in between? Let me know. And while you're down there, make sure to like, subscribe, and we'll be here tomorrow with another episode, so take care.